HST for IT professionals using the quick method. How to calculate the HST under the quick method using an example of an IT professional operating in Ontario. Let's call this company the ITT Professional Corporation. He's an annual GST filer. In other words, he files his GST return once a year after his year end, and he has a December 31st calendar year end. It's an Ontario corporation, and Ontario is an HST province where the prevailing HST rate is 13%. Now, to illustrate how the calculation works under the quick method, we'll take a simple example. We'll say his billings to Ontario clients is $100,000, and since we mentioned the HST rate in Ontario is 13%, so he's going to collect $13,000 on the $100,000 of billings to his Ontario clients. He's also billing clients in the United States $10,000, and since that's zero rated because it's export sales, there's no GST or HST collected on his billings to his clients in the United States. Altogether, this is his billings, $110,000, on which he collects $13,000 in HST. To continue the example further, let's assume he bought a computer for $2,000 in 2014, and embedded in the cost of the computer was HST of about $230. Okay, also operating expenses, let's typically there's not a lot of HST but let's say there's $500 worth of HST in the operating expenses. Okay, now here's how to calculate the HST payable under the quick method. His billings, we mentioned, was $100,000. To that you add the HST collected, and you get $113,000. Here's a working copy of the GST return, and we'll put the $113,000 figure on this line 101. So that's 113. Okay, $113,000 goes on line 101, which is enter total sales and other revenue. Okay, now back to our calculation of the HST under the quick method. The quick method rate for HST provinces is 8.8%. So you multiply the total on line 101 times 8.8%, and you get this figure. So we'll put that figure 9944 on line 103. We'll go to the working copy again. Okay, we're back to the working copy. So we mentioned we'll put that figure 9944 on line 103, and that actually carries forward to line 105. So that's 9944. Okay, back to the calculation under the quick method. Under the quick method, even though you're not entitled to claim input tax credits on normal operating expenses, but you are entitled to claim the input tax credits on capital items like computers. So we mentioned he bought a computer which had $230 embedded in its cost, so we'll take that as a credit, and that goes on line 106. So here on line 106 we'll put that $230. Now under the quick method, you're also entitled to a maximum of $300 credit under the quick method. Well, the maximum is 1% of your billings up to a maximum of $300. So plug that into line 107. Put that down here. So we put on line 107 $300, which is that additional credit that you're entitled to claim under the GST quick method. And you add that to the $230, which we said was the ITCs, the input tax credits embedded in the capital item you bought, totaled $530, and you subtract 9944 minus 530, and you get 9944 minus 530. Get 9414. 9414, and that's the net GST you pay on your billings. Now, had you calculated the GST under the regular method, your calculation would have been very simple. You would have taken the GST collected, 13,000, minus your input tax credits on your operating expenses, minus your input tax credits on your capital item, and your net would be this amount, 12,000 and change. By calculating it, by using the quick method of calculating your GST, you've saved yourself $2,856, almost $3,000. And for IT professionals, calculating the HST by the quick method usually yields big savings, especially in HST provinces like Ontario. You can see the RC 4058 publication. It's at the Canada Revenue Agency site for more info on the quick method. If you haven't yet elected to use the quick method, here's the form. It's the GST 74. It's on the CRA website. It looks like this. It's a very simple form. You just click this box here and put in your name, business number. It's a very simple form, and just you can file it online or send it in. Here's some additional information, and it'll tell you where to send it in if you want to file a paper return. I hope this video has been helpful. I'm B.C. Cheskovsky, CA. Comments and questions are welcome. Please visit my contact page at my site, canadataxman.ca. Thanks.